Bon matin.
Sur la glace, on a environ une dizaine de minutes. Ça marche.
Martin, est-ce que c'est dans l'esprit dont tu parles depuis le début du camp de faire arriver des choses concrètes rapidement, que ce soir tu sembles réunir ton top 6 pour un match?
Non, mais c'est... J'ai pas compris ta question.
Est-ce que tu souhaites mettre les choses rapidement en place? Tu nous as expliqué ça là, depuis quand même le début du camp. Est-ce que c'est pour ça que tu habilles ton top 6 ce soir?
Mais non, mais on sait que Suzy, Cole et Slav, ils vont jouer ensemble. Puis Dach, ça va être sa première game. On va voir que ça a l'air.
Tu parlais l'autre fois de l'affaire Matheson-Dobson. Tu disais que l'une des bonnes façons qu'il allait pouvoir défendre, c'était justement en ayant la rondelle souvent. Est-ce que cette mentalité-là s'applique aussi au trio de Dach, dans le sens que tu as quand même 3 gars qui sont bons en protection de rondelle et qui pourraient avoir des longues séquences?
Mais je pense que c'est collectivement. On va être une équipe difficile à jouer parce qu'on prend soin de la rondelle, puis on met valeur sur avoir la rondelle, puis la décision que tu prends avec la rondelle est importante pour pas qu'on ait à se défendre autant. Je pense que c'est collectivement. Je sais qu'il y a des joueurs qui sont meilleurs que d'autres à ça, mais je pense que c'est collectivement. C'est quelque chose qu'on veut vraiment faire.
Bonjour Martin.
Bonjour.
Tu l'as dit, Kirby Dach, premier match. On ne peut pas vraiment reproduire les répétitions d'un match à l'entraînement, mais qu'est-ce que tu as vu progresser dans son cheminement jusqu'ici dans le camp d'entraînement qui fait en sorte que c'est encourageant pour lui ce soir?
Bien, il est très engagé. Je trouve qu'il est intense. Puis là, c'est d'aller asseoir, prendre un chiffre à la fois, puis faire les actions que la game te demande, puis se remettre dans le beat. Mais on va continuer à évaluer, puis on va continuer à garder le plan qu'on a pour Kirby.
Martin, l'année dernière, corrige-moi si je me trompe, mais je pense qu'il y a des gens au sein de votre état-major qui n'étaient pas super heureux du niveau de conditionnement physique de certains gars. Comment tu trouves, à ce camp-ci, le niveau de conditionnement physique de ton gars?
Non, il est bien. Je trouve que les gars, ils ont pris ça à cœur cet été. Ils ont pris une décision que ça commençait beaucoup plus de bonheur individuellement. Puis collectivement, tu as vu, le groupe s'est rassemblé quand même assez de bonheur. Je trouve qu'on a commencé le camp à l'heure, très intense et tout. Puis, on a parlé beaucoup de ça. C'est pas de flipper une switch le 8 octobre. C'est assez d'aller stacker journée. Puis on est-tu capable d'aller chercher un edge durant le camp? Puis jusqu'à date, qu'est-ce que je vois? C'est encourageant.
I guess further to that, last year, Kirby was coming back from the same injury. You guys were very adamant that he's going to need time. You're going to have to be patient with him. Considering what you just said and the priority you've placed on urgency and getting off to a good start, does he have the same luxury of time to get back, or is it a bit less of a leash he has to get back?
I wouldn't call it a leash, but I feel Docker's in a better place. I think he did things differently this summer. I think he's further along. So I think he'll be more ready to get going right away. But like the rest of our group collectively, I think we're further along collectively. So I expect Docker, to be further along that way. Now the way he's going to feel in games, going up and down the ice, the battling stuff, you need some reps to get in that game shape, And so we're actually very excited that he gets to play tonight so that he can get in game shape.
Marty, a close call there with Slav the other night with that skate coming up and catching him in the face. I know in your career you put a visor on after the injury. I see today he has the neck guard on. I'm just wondering, as a team, do you encourage players to try the neck guards, or is it up to players to their own person?
Yeah, I think our training staff encourages the players for sure. I think it's, based on everything that's happened lately, and the way the gear now is produced, made, I think you can protect yourself and still be comfortable. But it's up to the players.
Oui, Martin.
Bonjour.
Tu as parlé des leçons tirées du camp d'entraînement de l'année dernière, puis de peut-être faire les choses différemment pour que tout le monde soit prêt. T'en as glissé un mot, mais c'est quoi ton niveau de satisfaction? C'est peut-être pas le bon mot, là, mais jusqu'à date, arrivé à peu près à la moitié du camp environ. C'est quoi ton niveau de satisfaction environ avec l'engagement de tes joueurs de ce que tu
non, je suis satisfait, mais tu sais, c'est continuer à en vouloir plus. C'est continuer à être plus demandant. Tu sais, mais les choses qu'on parle et qu'on les des petits ajustements, tu sais, je trouve que les gars y embarquent et on peut travailler là-dessus. Puis on a des exemples des matchs. Puis je te dirais que je suis satisfait, mais ça veut pas dire. C'est pas parce que tu es satisfait que tu enlèves le pied sur le gaz. Tu sais. Fait que oui, je suis satisfait, mais il faut encore rester dans le tapis.
Bonjour. Juste une petite précision sur les deux, les trios 3 et 4. Les centres, ça serait qui? On essayait de démystifier.
Vinzenz is going to play center. Vincent va jouer au centre, puis Flo va jouer au centre aussi.
Ma vraie question, ça fait plusieurs fois depuis le début du camp que tu parles de stacker les journées, tout ça. J'aimerais juste savoir ce que tu entends par là, puis ce que tu veux que tes joueurs comprennent de ce message-là, parce que je devine que c'est un message aussi que tu transmets à tes joueurs.
Oui, mais je pense que c'est important de. Tu sais, que s'il y a des joueurs qui ne jouent pas ce soir-là, tu sais, ils ont une pratique, c'est de rester alerte puis aller gagner la journée. Tu sais, faire la manière de chaque joueur sont capables d'aller gagner leur journée. Puis si tous les joueurs sont engagés là-dedans puis ils sont capables d'aller stacker des journées, mais tu sais, il y a un effet secondaire avec ça. T'sais, fait que c'est de... Quand je le dis, on ne sait pas exactement tout ce que les autres équipes y font. C'est de... Sois sûr que notre définition de travail est très élevée. Puis c'est dur de tenir la main à tout le monde. Fait que c'est de prendre ça en main, eux autres, d'aller stacker leur journée. Puis sois sûr que leur définition de travail est très élevée.
Peut-être juste par rapport à ça, gagner les journées, la combinaison avec Rohrer, Méchard, 3 gars qui ont des profils un peu différents. Qu'est-ce que tu aimerais voir de cette combinaison-là ce soir? Qu'est-ce que tu trouves comme évolution pour ces 3 joueurs-là depuis le début du camp?
C'est une longue question. Moi, je veux qu'il y ait jouer avec les intentions honnêtes, tu sais, que c'est les choses qu'on recherche, les détails de la game, c'est sûr, ils ont toute l'offensive, ces joueurs-là, tu sais, puis c'est comment ils peuvent montrer leurs atouts tout en comprenant la game sans la rondelle, les détails sans la rondelle, tu sais, puis leur atout, mais la game va leur donner des moments, mais je sais pas quand, tu sais, fait qu'il faut que tu joues la game, fait que moi, c'est ça que je veux voir, tu sais, puis c'est ça, quand tu as des jeunes joueurs, c'est ça que tu veux voir, comment c'est où leur maturité.
Martin, est-ce que tu as tiré des leçons, tu as changé quelque chose par rapport à ta façon de créer un line-up pour un match de camp d'entraînement entre les matchs qui sont à domicile puis à l'étranger? Est-ce que ton approche va être différente cette année?
Je sais pas, Gort, il m'aide beaucoup là-dedans. Oui. Oui, non. Hein? Oui, bien parce qu'il y a cette expérience-là. Tu sais, de bâtir des line-up de games d'exhibition et tout. Tu sais. Gort et Ken, ils m'aident beaucoup là-dedans. Tu sais, puis on essaie de calculer le nombre de games qu'ils vont jouer, qui tu veux voir. C'est un équilibre. Il faut t'apprendre un certain nombre de vétérans. Tu sais, fait que je te dirais que on a genre un plan, mais on se fait diriger. Puis je te dirais que Gort et Ken, ils m'aident beaucoup avec ça.
La question, c'est que souvent, les équipes à domicile vont avoir un meilleur line-up que sur la route. Mais si tu veux tester des gars, normalement, tu les envoies à l'étranger parce qu'ils vont affronter une meilleure compétition.
Oui, mais je trouve que plus ça va vers la fin, tu as ça beaucoup. Là. On a 4 games à la maison cette année. Et Québec, c'est ça. Mais c'est sûr, tu aimes tout le temps voir... le plus vraies répétitions que tu vas avoir. Habituellement, c'est dans les dernières games. Habituellement. On n'a pas eu vraiment ça l'année passée, là, mais j'espère avoir ça cette année.
Doesn't help you don't have first round picks this year in getting the minimum veterans, I guess. So, because the first round pick counts as a veteran.
That's right.
Yeah. this might be a little early to ask this, but we've heard you say, and some of your players have talked about the defensive priority of preventing the other team from getting into the neutral zone, which I imagine leads to a certain aggression in the neutral zone and just being on top of, entries and preventing them. Where, theoretically for now, I guess, but where do you have to what has to compensate for that aggression? Like what has to compensate for that level of risk?
Numbers back.
Where's that comes? That's
Yeah.
basically forwards.
Yeah. Your defensemen will always be able to be more aggressive if they feel comfortable. They got toe cap coming back towards our end zone, with numbers, and I think it's our three forwards, off turnovers, off, lost battles, and, they got to do the job so that our defensemen don't see early numerical advantage. Because once they see early numerical advantage, whether it's top of the circle, in the ozone blue line, like offensive blue line, it's hard for them to be aggressive. Now they got to try to keep their gap, stall it a little bit to invite our numbers back. But if we can have early numbers, in the picture, it's much easier for a defenseman to stand up. I don't think so. I mean, choose your hard. Yeah.
That was a long question.
Excited. It's been a long summer, been a hard summer, but just excited to be back out there.
I know you talked about the plan they had for you this season coming in. Was this sort of the game you were targeting to make your debut in right from the start?
Kind of, yeah, no. I don't know. We kind of just put all the heads together, the medical team, management, coaching, myself, doctors, made sure that we got in everything that we needed to get into before going into a game.
How's the knee feeling so far?
Body feels great. Did all the work that I needed to do over the summer and coming into camp and the weeks before camp to get ready.
And if you can't really replicate the reps of a real game, but where do you feel you are when it comes to checking boxes in your game so far?
I feel good. I think tonight it's about finding timing and starting to build chemistry with Patty and Demi and making sure that I'm doing all the right things away from the puck and not forcing the game, just kind of letting the game come to me and play from there.
You mentioned being excited. How excited are you about discovering these two line mates?
It's going to be fun. I mean, we've gotten a few practices now together, and I think each day we're getting better together, understanding how we want to play and how we need to play to be successful for this team.
Demino's a bit of a unique player. Is there anything playing with him that changes your game at all?
No, I think just playing off one another, and same with Patty. I think obviously Patty's more of a shooter than Demi and I both are, but doesn't mean Demi and I can't take on scoring chances and shoot the puck ourselves, and it doesn't mean Patty can't make plays. So I think we got a good mix of everything. We just got to make sure we're taking care of the puck and doing everything right away from it as well.
You've said that October 8th is the most important time for you, but how important is tonight games for you? mentally, just for you, not for media?
Yeah, it's a good break from practicing and doing the scrimmages and getting to get a real feel of game pace and the timing of everything. So just really focused on trying to do everything the best of my abilities right and not force the game tonight and just kind of let it come to me.
And feeling good about yourself, it's important
Yeah,
to you.
yeah, I feel like I'm in a good headspace, feel positive. We're still a pretty young team. I mean, we've been together I've been here for 4 years, and a lot of us have been here for 4 or 5 years. So we've kind of grown together and become like a family. So I definitely leaned on them quite a bit over the past 2 years, and it's helped a lot. And don't think I'd be where I am today without a lot of the guys and the management and coaching and everything about this organization.
Kirby, I'm wondering, you worked so hard over the summer, and a lot of the discourse in the offseason on this team was, are they going to get another center? Like, how did you take that conversation when you watch that stuff and everyone's talking about the 2C? How do you digest that?
I didn't really give it any attention, to be honest with you. I was more so focused on myself and getting better and kind of rehabbing and getting back to a place where I know I can be effective and be that second line center for this team.
Are you more comfortable at center, Kirby? Do you think your game's more effective?
Yeah, I think so. I think I've always kind of been a centerman. I feel like I can control the pace of play from the middle and just feel more natural, more comfortable there.
What did you learn about yourself? What did you learn about yourself during this long period far from hockey?
I don't think I really learned anything new. I kind of always felt like I had good resilience, good mental mindset, and so just kind of bearing down and doing the work each and every day.
Kirby, I don't know, sorry if it's been asked to you in a previous availability, but are there not lessons but adjustments that you would hope to have or do with Patty, returning this season on the same line with him?
Yeah, I think I kind of touched on it, just making sure we're smart away from the puck and playing a solid defensive game and maybe not forcing the offense so much. And I mean, we're all offensive players, the three of us, so that'll come just naturally. It's about taking care of the puck and taking care of the team. Sometimes it means having a couple shifts where we got to grind it out defensively and just get pucks in and change, but eventually the offense will come. I think we just got to stick to the game plan, not force anything, and things will happen.
Thanks,
Kirby. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Kirby.
Thanks, Kirby.
Have fun tonight.
Vinzenz, how do you see this opportunity to play another game tonight and play with different line mates also?
Yeah, I mean it's another game. I mean it's my second preseason game in the NHL, so it's obviously really special. And now I play center, a little bit of a different thing. I played that a little bit in Zurich when guys are injured sometimes. But yeah, let's hope for a good game.
What's your takeaway of your first game now for 48 hours later?
I mean, a couple good things, a couple not that good things, but I think that's hockey. But I would say mostly, I think I kind of brought that, what I kind of wanted to bring here to show kind of skating and the energy and kind of all of that. And I think this was a pretty good job in the first game, and hopefully I'll continue that now in the second one.
Do you consider yourself as a positive surprise at this point?
I mean, I played one game, so like it's wouldn't go that far.
I said that because what Marty said about you.
Well, it's been good. It's been fun. I mean, it's good coming in here with the guys, and for me, that helps me also personally on the ice. And like I said, I think a couple good things, a couple bad things, and I hope for the best now in the future.
How do you interpret the fact that you'll be playing centerman this time around rather than wing? Does it say anything, you think?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it's more of a thing. I think management wants to also see like different positions. I guess I'm not the management, but I guess. And well, for me, I try to play hockey same. If I'm winger or center, I mean, I try to play my best game, and obviously a couple different things there, but yeah, I can adjust.
The last game was your first opportunity to have like a live scrimmage, let's say, or a live game where there's full physicality and that's an element I imagine that how did you find, because I would imagine that's one of the bigger differences from what you're used to in Switzerland. How did you find the physical nature of that game, and how did you find you were able to fit in that?
I mean, obviously it is a difference, and with the smaller ice surface, just everything happens way faster. Like I said before, I guess it's my first game. It's tough for me to say how I really adjust to that or not. But I mean, I think I even though I was in Europe, we also talk with the coaching staff sometimes how I would do that in North America, and it's been pretty good so far, and I'll hope that I'll keep that up.
I know a lot of your exercise program in Switzerland was based on winning battles. At one point, I don't know if that continued after I left, but how do you see that paying off? Like all the preparation you've done to win puck battles more often?
Yeah, I gotta say.
With the little kid of me, at the door and look at me as a professional athlete, but I think that's what makes it all the more special for me to be here right now, because I'm kind of in the same boat, trying not to be starstruck, just trying to be myself every day.
You said family members. How many family members do you have in this area, or what's the connection?
My dad's side, his dad got remarried, and it was a Quebec heritage, a lot of family up here, so at the first rookie game, I had over 30 family members from Quebec, Florida, Austria, like a big, scrum after the game, so it was pretty special.
Can you talk about, the last game that you played? Obviously, you came in the middle of the game, and it seems like you started that game the way you played. Like you seem on top of your game from the get-go. Is it something that you were able to work on, or it was just natural for you?
I mean, it's definitely not easy. You never know what your first shot or first chance is going to be, and I just try to stay calm. And I think I've said it before. Try not to attack the game. Let the game come to me a little bit, and it keeps me calm to know that if they don't shoot, they can't score. So you don't really need to freak out.
Marty said Monty's starting tonight. I imagine you'll get in halfway through. How difficult is it doing that since you were a starter basically everywhere you played to sort of sit on the bench for an hour and a half and then have to commit to the game?
It's mental more than physical, I'd say. Obviously, your body's not warmed up when you jump in, but mentally you're fresh. You're watching the game on the bench, staying involved. So, a couple minutes before, maybe get your eyes going a little bit, but really just try to stay locked into the game, but calm on the bench because you don't want to be draining yourself while you're not even in the net.
Jacob, from your goalie perspective, what's the most impressive about Kirby, Patty, and Ivan game together? What makes them so difficult to play against as a goalie?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not easy to play against those guys. I mean, there's a reason they're stars in this league for a reason, and just the way they all complement each other, well-rounded just players in general, and they can all score from anywhere. So you got to be pretty honest on all of them at all times.
I'm actually had a chance to get to know Monty better at this camp, hang around with him a little bit. How do you describe your relationship, or just what you like about him, just as a guy?
Yeah, he's the best. He's treated me super well. Helped me out with little things, either on or off the ice, and the way he plays is fun for me to watch. I like to pick up a few things every day being with him, and just his consistency. I think not a lot of goalies play 60 games in a season, and the way he did last year was pretty impressive. So just trying to take little bits and pieces because anytime you play 60 games, it's a challenge, and to play at that level for all 60 is really, really good.
Do you think that'll be your biggest challenge this season? If you do end up in Laval, they're probably going to play you 50, 60 games.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried not to look at it that way, more of just every day be able to play my best to my ability, and win or lose, be ready to do it the next day or day after. So whatever that may look like, just trying to be the most consistent I can be.
Okay, so let's talk about the present a bit. It's the Montreal Canadiens training camp. You're not an old guy. What's the most fun about being here?
I mean, it's a lot of fun. I think even if it's just a morning skate like today, you're playing against guys that you're watching on TV. So it's fun, to see those types of shots you don't see at different levels. So really just the challenge and joy that you get from getting to compete, whether it's morning skate or a training camp scrimmage. It's a lot of fun to just be on the ice with all these talented guys.
Thank you.
From the perspective of the press box, you seem to have it seems that you have. It's easy for you to take the control of your crease. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I like to.
Is this something that you learned before, or?
I think I've always just been taught that ice time is so valuable. When I was young, playing in Florida, I didn't have access to the ice whenever I wanted, like a lot of guys did. So whenever I got the chance to play a game or practice, it was like the highlight of my week, my month, whatever. It was, when you got the chance to go out and play, you earn it, because it wasn't something that was given to me or had unlimited access to, and my family had to work really hard to get me those opportunities to skate. So for me, it was every time I get a chance to be in the net, it's you want to have fun, but you're there to play your best and win, because you're there to move up.
So your background helped your to have bigger confidence in yourself.
Yeah, I mean, to a degree, I think. At the end of the day, I feel like whatever I put in, I'm going to get out. There's no one else more responsible for what happens on the ice than yourself. So just try to be as confident as I can and stop the puck, because, I know I'm a good goalie, but there's going to be some times that you struggle a little bit. But, the biggest thing is just try to stay as even as possible. So never show anybody if you're not feeling confident. Just try to be overconfident sometimes.
How did it feel the other night, being in the shootout and, being the center of attention at the Bell Center, an environment like that?
I mean, I think that's why a lot of people play goalie. They like to have control of the game. Guys can score as many times as they want, but if the goalie gives up one too many goals, you can't win. So I think guys like to play that position for the control they have of the outcome every night. And, it's fun. Those moments are what makes you, addicted to the game, so to say. So definitely a cool moment for sure, but, it's hard not to want to think about it, but you got to put it to the side and, attack the next day.
Obviously excited to win.
Steve?
Ouais, c'est un gars super calme, gentil, donc quelqu'un qui est facile à parler avec, donc j'aime ça de lui.
On parlait à Vinzenz, puis visiblement il a une belle personnalité, il est content d'être ici. T'sais. Pour toi, cette période-là de l'année comme vétéran, aimes-tu ça, côtoyer ces jeunes-là, puis à quel point tu apprécies ton rôle de les guider un peu, puis de leur donner un coup de main un peu pour passer à travers ce camp d'entraînement-là?
Ouais, c'est sûr que les nerfs sont tout le temps là. Je pense que je me rappelle d'être cet âge, je sais pas vraiment quoi faire, pour quoi dire. Donc ça aide à juste leur dire bonjour, leur demander comment ça va. Je pense que ça les aide à se rendre plus confortables, plus confiants dans le vestiaire et tout ça.
Il y a juste un match avec Noah jusqu'à maintenant que vous avez joué ensemble. As-tu l'impression que la chimie va prendre rapidement? Vous sembliez déjà assez bien vous trouver sur le patinoire?
Oui, je pense que oui. C'est sûr qu'on se parle depuis une couple de semaines de développer les façons qu'on aime jouer puis où on aime être contrairement à l'autre gars. Donc, c'est sûr que c'est quelque chose qui, des fois, ça prend du temps, mais je pense qu'on est déjà dans une bonne place.
Mike, you're likely to see a familiar face in Michael Pizzetta on the other side tonight. Never easy for how his time ended here in Montreal, in and out of the lineup. From your point of view, how do you think he handled all that last season?
It was great. I think anytime you get caught in that situation, it's very easy to kind of keep looking narrowly and focusing on the adversity that you're facing. And I'd imagine hard to not kind of let that come out and affect everybody around you, and he did a great job of not letting it be that and continuing to just be a great teammate, and you know, he's definitely one of the best I've seen at doing that.
How was he a great teammate? Like, what comes to mind in how he did it?
I think just the simple fact of bringing his energy every day instead of kind of being an energy sponge and you know, moping around, let's say, or going out on the ice and not giving 100%. All those kind of ways, you kind of just feel a cloud around the locker room or an elephant in the room that is kind of sucking some energy out, and he never did that. He was positive. He was getting guys up and giving them energy, knowing that, you know, they might be playing ahead of him, but that didn't matter. No. So I was just going to say, so that's really impressive to be in that situation and continue doing that.
Have you spoken to him since?
A little bit. We saw each other at a couple weddings this summer, so it's great to kind of have a reunion with a bunch of guys that used to be on the team.
How would you describe the fit with you and Noah?
I think it's you know, just an ongoing relationship where we're going to keep building, but I think we're already in a good spot where we get along great, and our games, I think, complement each other pretty well.
Has anything surprised you about him, about the way he plays, or?
I think his poise is really impressive, and so that's definitely a strength of his, and something that as his partner you definitely appreciate.
Mike, I know you were experimenting with the neck guard last season in practices and that, and I see you were wearing it in training camp. I don't think you've worn it in a game yet, but
Yeah, I did on Monday.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, so but not in a regular season. So when
Yeah.
you see what happened to Slav the other night, does that sort of reinforce that maybe I should?
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, what are the odds that it actually does something? Hopefully not, right? But I think for me it's literally as simple as awarding World Championships, and you know, my son's 4 and starting to play hockey. I want him to wear one, so how can I not wear one and be sitting there telling him to wear one?
Do you think the main reason people don't is just it's too hot? Is that sort of
Yeah, it is a little bit, but you get used to it.
Martin, publiquement, en tout cas depuis le début du camp, il insiste beaucoup sur faut que ça parte tout de suite, faut que ça parte maintenant. Puis là, ce soir, avec toi, il y a le top 6 qui est en uniforme. Le sentez-vous depuis que le camp a commencé que Martin insiste peut-être plus fort, même avec vous, qui peut même le faire publiquement sur faut que ça parte vite puis maintenant?
Ouais, je pense que c'est toujours notre but, mais l'année passée, on s'est mis dans un gros trou au début de la saison. Donc, c'est sûr que cette saison, on veut partir de la bonne manière. Puis, la façon que tu peux faire ça, c'est de jouer des matchs puis les traiter comme des vrais matchs.
En regard à cette question-là de Martin, c'est facile de l'extérieur de